So, folks, we've introduced you to candidates who are running for Assembly District, who are running for statewide office. Now let's talk about some local campaigns, because this truly is where the revolution happens, right? When we can get our own and the seat of power, this is where we can really change the dynamic on the ground. Folks, it was with great pleasure that I introduce you to another one of my Bernie brothers who is running for City Council here in Concord, in Central Contra Costa County. And this is Kenji Yamada!
Thanks, Lucy. Hi, everybody. I'm running for City Council in Concord. I have been a resident of Concord for 6 years. For the last 3 years, I've been involved as a resident on some issues. The main one I've been involved in has been bicycle advocacy. Addie and I have worked together closely on that for the last 3 years. But in the course of being involved, going to city meetings, getting to know, listening to the public comments of my neighbors, I got educated about some other issues that were going on in my town over the last 3 years. And mainly, the ones that are not being addressed have to do with the needs of people who do not have much money. Concord residents who cannot give a lot of money to people who are running for council. As things stand, people who get elected in my city in Concord get elected on the strength of large amounts of money. We don't have a Chevron, but we do have some local powers who are similar in the amount of money they can spend. So families, our police officers association. And the people who want to run for council have to kiss the ring, so to speak, have to do what it takes to get those large amounts of money. As a result, they answer to the people who fund their campaigns. And I have been hoping and wishing for the last 3 years that we could get council members who would adhere to certain principles, one of which was to depend on small money, to refuse large donations, to repudiate large independent expenditures, to refuse to serve only those people who have a large amount of money, and commit themselves to serving those who are vulnerable because of low finances, because of their immigration status, because of where they live in our city. And building up skills as a resident, attending meetings, paying attention to what was going on in our city, my excuses gradually disappeared. I thought, someone else needs to do it, someone else who has the skills, who has the connections, who has learned how to do things in the city. Lost that one. And it's basically Bernie Sanders who kind of kicked me in the butt and said, if you can do it, you think it should be done, you do it. And so I'm going to do it. So one of the commitments I'm making in order to keep myself true to what I say I'm going to do is that I'm limiting my campaign financing to $200 max per person, which is 1/5 of what I could legally take under Concord Municipal Code. Concord Municipal Code allows a candidate to take up to $1,000. It seems to me that if someone can afford to give only $5 or $10 to a candidate, someone else can afford to give $1,000, this difference is too big. This gives too much influence to the person who can afford to give that much. I don't think campaigns should be financed that way. I don't think that is the kind of accountability that candidates and council members should have based on someone who can afford to give $1,000. And so I am not going to be what I don't want to exist, and I am going to be what I do want to exist. I don't think you can help solve a problem and continue participating in it. So I'm going to try to meet that standard myself. So KenjiForConcord.com is my website. It's not ready yet. I'm still building up, just filed, so not ready to take support yet, but I'll be keeping in touch with our Revolution Contra Costa. Hope to seek the endorsement, hope to meet the criteria and standards of this organization and this group, and I'm really glad that all of us are coming together across this county to stand for these values that we've been fighting for so long.
Awesome.